What you're seeing is the final collapse of what people described as the post-World War II order, which then became the post-Soviet collapse order. So if you think about 1945, World War II finishes and the Cold War begins. So you go from World War II to two big major players in the world competing for dominance. And that lasts until 1991 when the Soviet Union collapses, at which point you get the unipolar world in which there's only one hegemony, only one country that's really setting the terms of what's happening in the world. The West lost its focus and its sense of purpose in 1991 because we were like, well, we defeated our great rival, communism, Soviet, Russia, etc. And then we kind of didn't really know what to do. And we took our eye off the ball. And what's happening now is that entire framework that we have had since World War II is disintegrating very rapidly. This is why, in light of recent events and the Maduro situation, you hear a lot of people talk about international law. International law was, I don't know if you've ever had Yuval Noah Harari on your show?
I have, yeah.
He wrote the book called Sapiens, in which he talks about the fact that almost everything that we live in, the world in which we exist, is a kind of shared myth that we have. And laws and money and all these things, they're agreements that we have between us to make things real that are not real. Money isn't real. That piece of paper has no value in your pocket, really, outside of the fact that other people have got together and agreed that it's money, right? Well, international law really was that, but even weaker than that, because if you think about what a law is something that has to be backed by not only the consent of the people who are involved, but also, ultimately, it's about the use of force, the legitimate use of force. Now, for international law, there's never been anything that could enforce that law other than the most powerful country in the world, right? So if China invades Taiwan, no one's going to do anything about it because there is no overarching authority with the military to be able to do anything about it. And so that shared fiction that we had, which we were living in a structured world in which everything is done according to the rules-based order, you might have heard that term being used, that is now gone, and Trump is acting in recognition of that reality. And he's saying, well, given that it's sort of every man for himself now, I'm going to do what's in the interest of the United States. Is it in the interest of the United States, for example, to have an openly hostile leader of a country close to the US, which is so destabilized that 7 million people have fled as refugees? Venezuela. Is it in our interest to have this person cozying up to Russia and China? Is it in our interest to allow him to have Hezbollah training camps on the island of Margarita? Is it in our interest? It's going back to the Monroe Doctrine, the idea that America does not allow foreign nations to meddle in its backyard, so to speak.